Okay, today we're going to continue our talk about inferencing. We know that we've learned in other lessons that inferencing comes from using text clues that the author has given us, things we've actually read in the story, and our schema, things that we've already know, things that we've learned in our lifetime. And those things help us infer. But before we can start reading, we are going to look for some words that might trick us up, some words that might confuse us when we see them. So if you will open up your books and turn to page 6, you're going to look towards the bottom of the page, and there's a word that starts with a W, but it doesn't make the W sound. When you find that word, put your finger on that word. It starts with a W, but it does not make the W sound. That word, that sound at the beginning is silent. That W is silent at the beginning of that word. That word is wrapped. Like you wrapped a present, you wrapped a bow around a box, that kind of wrapped. So the next word that we're going to look for is on page 8. The word is swooshed. The word is swooshed. What two letters do you think might make up the word? What two letters at the beginning of the word swooshed do you expect to see? What two letters at the beginning of swooshed do you expect to see? SW. SW does make that sound. That word is swooshed. She is going to swoosh the spider away. So she's going to use kind of air, like a gust of air, to swoosh the spider away. Our next word that we're going to focus on is on page 12, and it's one of your sight words that we've been working on. The word is asked. Put your finger on the word asked. Like, I asked a question, I asked to go to the restroom, that word. The word is asked, and it's going to be at the top of your page. Okay, so now we know when we see that word, we know not to let it trick us. Okay, I'm going to ask you to go back to the beginning, back to page 2, and we're going to read to ourselves, and when you're going to stop when you get to the yellow sticky note. When you get to the yellow sticky note, I want you to use the text clues in your schema, things that you already know, to help you make an inference about what you've read. Okay, I'm going to show you how I made an inference about what we just read in the story. So first I'm going to start my text clues. I read in the story that Mrs. Spat doesn't really have anyone to talk to, so she smiles and talks to the spider when he lands in her window. My schema, things that I already know, tell me that people that are friends or friendly to other people usually smile and speak when they see other people. So I can infer that Mrs. Spat likes having the spider in her window to talk to. What you're going to do is you're going to continue and read until you get to the next sticky note. And when you get to the next sticky note, I want you to stop and use the text clues, information that's actually in the story, and your scheme of things you already know, to make an inference about what you've read, about how the spider feels about the cat that's been introduced to the story. Okay. So before we say what we think our inference is, let's go and use our formula to help us make sure we have our inference together. Let's start with our text clues. What are some things we've read in the story that can help us figure out how we think the spider feels about the cat in the story? Okay? The spider wraps the cat up in the web. Okay? The spider yells at the old lady in the story. She's yelling at her, trying to get her attention. Okay. Anything else? Okay. What are some things that we know? What do you think? Some things that we know about how the spider is treating the cat in the story. Okay, she's being mean. She's being mean to the cat in the story. Why might she be mean? This will be our inference. Why might she be being mean to the cat? She might be jealous. Okay, we can infer that she's jealous about the cat and the woman being friends now. She might feel kind of left out. Okay,